All right, guys, let me show you an example of a lease option. This is actually one of the very early deals we did when we started Little Pink Houses of America, and you're going to see why we like these deals so much. So this is actually a house that we just called online for sale by owner, but found that there was some unique motivation, which is a part of why we did so well in the deal. The more distressed, the more motivated a seller, typically the better deal you're going to carve out. So anyway, seller's name was Kim, was going through a divorce, and got the house on a single income, was not able to afford the house. In fact, house was relatively new, maybe 5 years old, give or take, and really a beautiful, beautiful place. In fact, my wife went to take pictures there and came back and said, "Oh, I'm in love with the house." I said, "That's the last time I was sending you to take pictures." So anyway, she owed about $380,000 on the property. Now, her very close friend, as I understood it, was a realtor. And of course, the first person she went to was the realtor to list the property. But she owed $380,000. It was worth around $420,000, give or take. And you'll see we sold it for a little bit more than that. But after you take an offer, you have your own closing costs. It's very standard for a buyer to request that a seller pay for their closing costs, buyer concession or contribution for their closing costs. So the seller agrees to contribute towards buyer costs. Sometimes that's required to get the loan done. No seller is obligated to do that, but it's become a very standard request in the past 10 to 15 years. Almost every contract to buy a home comes with a request for the seller to contribute toward the buyer's closing costs. So then an offer, then your closing costs, and then a realtor commission. So you factor in an offer, your closing costs, buyer closing costs, and commissions, even though there's what looks to be a potential $40,000 equity position from Kim, the seller. There really is none when you factor in those costs. And so the advice that she was given is if you want a quick sale, you should maybe price it a little bit under market. And as we negotiated with her, you're going to see we were able to put under contract right at $399,000. So she still had about $20,000 that she was owed that we agreed to give her, but we agreed right around that $400,000 mark. She also had a monthly payment of $2,800, and we put it under contract just under the $400,000 at $399,000. So let me go and switch over here. It's a story that has a happy ending, but unfortunately there were some sad parts in it. We ran across a gentleman named Bob Stoliker, nice guy, great guy. Bob was partly retired. He actually owned a car lot and had been kind of putzing for a few years, was retired or partly retired, which was why it was difficult for him to walk into a bank and get a loan. Unfortunately, his or their daughter had cancer. Now the daughter had cancer and had some young children, and so this particular home had like not a mother-in-law's quarter, but a separate wing of the home, if you will. The master was on one side, and so it would allow the parents to come in, live in the home, take care of their daughter, and help raise the grandkids. So it was all predicated based on the situation, and the house fit what they were looking for. So we had priced it a little bit higher than the ARV today. When you're pricing, if it's worth $420,000 on an appraisal or an after repair value today, to price it at $429,900, locking in someone's price today for maybe a year down the road or more is very, very standard, very much within bounds. You always price a little bit higher with the intent to potentially take an offer. When you're selling on a lease option, you understand that you're locking them into a price today that, again, may not be recognized for another year. So we always price a little bit higher. Certainly we're going to be at the top of the market. So we take it out at $429,900. Mr. Stoliger had $30,000 to put down, all of which went to us, the old Hip National Bank, my favorite bank. And we had a payment of $3,100 a month, which means we've carved out about $300 a month in positive cash flow. So Kim had a problem, went through a divorce, couldn't afford the home on her own. Ultimately was looking for someone to step in and take over the albatross around her neck, the pain points for her. And again, to get a quick sale and not have to come out of pocket, she priced it a little bit low, and we were able to put it under contract after some negotiation at $399,000. We always put a spread on top. We sell it at a higher price than we put under contract, and ultimately this would be either a sandwich lease option or just a lease option with the ability to sublease. And ultimately, we went through and we carved out $32,800 off the rip. We kept the down payment the first month, and then there's $300 per month in positive cash flow. One of the very first deals that we did here at Pink, we were very excited about it. It's a deal that we like to talk about because it was very, very good profit at the end of the day. And this is exactly why we like terms. This is why we like lease options. It cost us no money to do the deal. In fact, we actually closed this from the time we put it under contract to when we actually sold it and got a check was 3 weeks. So I show you upcoming in a couple more slides how we like to get to your first check quickly. We know that when you can get a check quickly, it's a boost of energy and momentum and excitement, and certainly doesn't hurt the bank account. And so we try to focus on that. And when if you're watching this and you want to get into real estate or you're thinking about it, the reality is that once you're in the game, within 30 days, you have the potential to make money. Now, not everybody does that, and of course, we want to set the expectations the right way, but the beauty of what we do, when you don't have to pay cash for the homes, you can tie them up and you have the ability to make a lot of money in a very short window of time. So this is the first example, lease options, Abby missed. It's a great deal for us, and that's why we like to show it. So hopefully you have a little bit of better feel as to why we like these types of deals.